McLaughlin Harvey is at the forefront of Scotland's energy transition, building key infrastructure that drives sustainable growth. From the Stornoway Deep Water Terminal, supporting offshore wind projects, to a £1 billion Scape Scotland utilities framework for low-carbon infrastructure. They've been pivotal in enabling a transition to secure clean energy. With these things in mind and a lot more, I sat down with Chris Boyle, the Frameworks Director at McLaughlin Harvey, to discuss what's ahead in 2025 from him and his team. Chris, Stornoway is a very exciting project. Tell me where you're at with it and where you see it moving forward.
Well, it's all but finished now, the project. It's quite a major project. Within the harbour at Stornoway, we have created a new laydown area and deep water berthing area to allow cruise ships onto the island of Lewis, but also to facilitate energy transition. A laydown area for large wind turbines, for taking them offshore and connecting them into the grid. So, exciting project for us. It has been featured quite heavily on the BBC and BBC Alba, which has been nice.
We're okay with that here at E-FWD. Yeah, that's all right with us. Energy Voice too.
Energy Voice too. So yeah, but an important project, I think, for the Northwest in terms of that energy transition.
When you look at the port's infrastructure and the players that are involved in that side of Scotland's energy transition opportunity, how much does that side of things excite you?
Very much so. We are one of very few marine specialists within the civil engineering market space. So, you know, looking at ports across the UK is a key function of our business, and it really excites us, and the opportunity that gives us in ports in the northwest, in the northeast, and helping that energy transition towards 2035 will be an exciting prospect for us as a business.
And when a lot of what's discussed on E-FWD is around the UK and Scotland's potential competitive advantages in this area, what do you need to see as enabling conditions to allow infrastructure transformation to move faster here in the UK?
You know, as Framework Director, it's incumbent to say that the use of Framework allows us to shorten that transition period, that procurement process. Particularly our Scape Utilities framework that allows direct appointment for us and allowing the major operators to appoint us directly to deliver infrastructure quicker within that space.
And part of the role of frameworks, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is ensuring that the communities that are connected to these infrastructure projects are brought along in the journey in the right way. A lot of what we talked about here at E-FWD is we've often looked to Denmark for case studies of how major infrastructure moves are made in lockstep with community. What's been your experience so far in using frameworks to ensure that happens here in the UK too?
Well, within the Scape framework particularly, we've delivered over £1 billion worth of infrastructure over the last 6 years. Key to that and key to clients' use of that framework has been the social aspect of it, the social value, the community benefit that brings to the communities in which we work. It's important that we leave a lasting legacy within those communities, both in terms of job creation, but also education and bringing people forward. And also important for us as a business to bring more people within the construction industry that allows us to continue to deliver. But, you know, we talk about local economies, and it would be remiss when we have all this workload happening not to involve the communities, involve stakeholder engagement within those communities, be involved within the schools, the colleges, the universities, but and give them something back to the communities in terms of jobs, in terms of input financially and economically within those areas.
And one of the communities that you've bravely stepped into, not just here in the studio, but in the tents at our events, is E-FWD. What's your take on what we've put together here and where we're trying to move things forward when it comes to energy transition?
Well, it's refreshing to see what you've done in terms of E-FWD. It's good to see that somebody's picking it up and driving it forward. And we need more of that within the industry.
Watching this clip are going to be leaders from across the marine infrastructure sector, Chris. You were the first civil engineering business to set foot into E-FWD. You're future thinking energy leaders. That's why you're there. When those potential clients are weighing up their choices about which firms to engage for this kind of work, what separates you out from the crowd?
There's a number of things that separate us out. Firstly, I would say we are easy to appoint. We are easy to procure because of our framework position. We are, as you mentioned, specialists in that marine engineering space. There isn't a lot of specialists. I think as workload increases in the marketplace at the moment, it's important to engage early with people, and that's where we want to be partners with our clients to deliver infrastructure. And we want to be working with like-minded individuals. We are a company that is privately owned, which allows us to be a bit more flexible than some of the corporate giants that are out there, and more personable. But we have the size and scale and the financial clout to deliver the 100 million, the 200 million pound plus projects that are needed for the energy transition within Scotland.
You're right, Chris. There will be no transition to secure clean energy without capital flowing to transformational infrastructure projects and organisations like McLaughlin Harvey sitting right at the centre of that and in the tents at E-FWD, bringing everyone together and making things happen fast and with our communities on board. If you're watching this on E-FWD's social channels and you're looking to join Chris and other future thinking energy leaders in our tents or in the studio anytime soon, all the details on how you can do that sit below the video in the comments. Chris, great to have you with us. Really excited to see what comes next. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Owen.